My sister took money from the high school fundraiser, but my mother made up lies about me and blamed me on it in order to protect her favorite daughter's future, so I went no contact. Now 6 years later she is coming to me for help, but I told her I will help in only one condition. Hey, so my estranged family reached out to me recently after 6 years of no contact, and I set forth a condition that they don't really agree with. So now I want to know if I'm in the wrong here. For context, when I say family, I'm just referring to my mom and my younger sister. I'm 28, female, and my sister is 24, female. She has always been pretty spoiled and got away with everything as a kid. My dad was a bit of a disciplinarian with both of us, but my mother could never bring herself to say anything to my sister. It's not that my mom treated me badly, but there was a clear favorite. When I was in my second year of college, my dad passed away from an aneurysm. It was very sudden, and we found it very difficult to cope with as a family, but we tried. My dad's passing really brought us together, so my mom's behavior later on was all the more disappointing. My sister was just 16 when our father passed away, and it was obvious that it had really shaken her up. She started acting out in very strange ways, and we had to get her to talk to a psychiatrist because something was obviously going very wrong. Our family was pretty easygoing, and we had never given her a reason to rebel against us. But even then, after our father's death, she started crossing all the lines. She would stay out late every other day without telling my mother anything about her whereabouts. She had started drinking and smoking, and even though she never confirmed it, we were pretty sure that she was taking substances. She got mixed up with the wrong crowd. To bring that under control, my mom had to step up and start going against her darling golden child. For a while, she really did try her best to control my sister. She cut off her pocket money so she couldn't go out on her own, but that didn't seem to make a difference. She threatened to ground her, but even that did not seem to faze her. She was way beyond these petty punishments. It was not until my mom said that she would turn all of them into the cops that they really started fighting. Pot has not been decriminalized in our state yet, so they could get into a lot of trouble for it. Even if we put aside underage drinking and smoking, just threatening my sister with this was seriously scaring her. Eventually, my sister had to follow what my mom was telling her and quit everything, even hanging out with those friends that she used to. My mom forced her to start hanging out more with her old friends so she could get back on track and work towards the future. The last time that I saw my family in person was 6 years ago. I had gone back home for a couple of days to spend some time with them. My sister's school, my old high school, was hosting a bake sale to raise funds for some charitable cause that I don't really remember anymore. All I remember is that my mother had forced my sister to actively take part in it, and my sister was part of the planning committee. My mother and I also baked a bunch of cookies and set up a stall to contribute in our own little way and just be there for my sister. I thought I was doing a good thing. I had no idea what was about to come later. After the event was over, I had plans with a couple of friends to go out for a movie, so I left quickly. It was just my mother and my sister who stayed back at school that day. When I came back home after the movies, nobody said anything to me, and everything was pretty normal. The next day, I went back to college like I was supposed to. It was then that I had some time, and I finally started realizing that a bunch of people from my high school had unfollowed me on Instagram. I had never had any issues with these people, and I was even friends with some of them back when I was in high school, so I had no idea why this was happening. After racking my brains for a couple of days, I decided to ask one of them what was going on and why they had unfollowed me. When I sent them that message, they replied to me, saying that after everything I had done, I should just be glad that people hadn't started blocking me yet. That made no sense to me because, as far as I was concerned, I had done absolutely nothing. I tried to ask them about it, but they did not reply to me after that. So I spoke to a couple of people that I was actually still friends with from high school, but they were so far removed from the situation that they had no idea either. Just like me, they hadn't particularly kept in touch with anyone from our year, and I guess that was good for me in a way that the news doing the rounds back home did not reach them. Eventually, after not being able to make sense of what was going on, I decided to speak to my mom and tell her what was happening. Even though I had not thought that she would be able to tell me the truth, she was actually the one who finally explained what was going on. By then, almost 1 month had passed since the bake sale, and when I told my mother about how everyone was behaving with me, she told me that she had come clean to me about everything. So that was when she finally told me that since my sister had been on the committee, she had also stayed back with everyone else to count the money they had made. I guess when nobody was looking, she had swiped almost $2,000, and it was quite a huge amount. So obviously, people started noticing. They kept calculating and recalculating again and again until they had to come to the unpleasant conclusion that somebody had stolen the money. Everyone obviously first started suspecting my sister, but nobody really said anything. My mother had also figured out what was going on, so she decided to save my sister and throw me under the bus instead. She cooked up a story on the spot and said that I must have taken money while she was not looking and left as quickly as I could because I had apparently become very irresponsible with money due to my drinking problem. Since my mother had refused to keep sending money, I had decided to take it for myself and leave. She claimed that she had thrown me under the bus to save my sister's bright future. Apparently, I had already moved out for college and only came back home for a couple of days every month, so it was not like it made a difference to me what they thought of me. But my sister still had to live with these people, and if they found out that she was the one who had swiped money that was supposed to go to charity, they would never let her live it down. So she had to do some quick thinking, and that's the plan that she came up with. She even gave up $2,000 out of her own pocket on the spot so that they could end that discussion and nobody would find out what my sister had done. My mother also begged everyone to keep their mouths shut and not talk about my drinking problem because I was still trying to deal with it. She really didn't want people to know that I had become this desperate that I was ready to steal money that was supposed to go to charity. But obviously, people did not keep their mouths shut about it, and I knew for a fact that one of the people who were in the same year as me also had a sister who had been on the committee as well. So she probably heard all of this and passed that information on to her sibling, who then told everyone else about it. People were not exactly mad about the fact that I had a drinking problem, but it was a bit hypocritical of me since, when I was in high school, I was a bit of a goody two-shoes and never smoked, drank, or did anything that could be classified as wrong or unethical. I guess everyone was mad about the fact that even after acting that way in high school, it was still not above me to develop a drinking problem as soon as I went away to college and even started stealing to support my habit. This lie that my mother had told to protect my sister had completely shattered my reputation, but she did not seem to care about it. She believed that since I did not live with them anymore, it shouldn't matter to me.